Pass Option Podcast. We have Matt in the back room. We have me, David. Matt goes by Fantasy Salesman on Twitter, and I go by Sack Experts. Fantasy Analyzers is the conglomerate. If you guys want to go over there, send us some DMs, questions, comments. We're doing this episode on tight end, running back, wide receiver, quarterback, rankings, and I'm going to give you the hole in one. The ones that are just going to be drop in hole in one picks for your team to take it to December to championship land, baby. So, what I need from you guys is to listen closely to Matt. He's going to drop the top 10 from Fantasy Pros. And if you're feeling that, man, wait till you hear what we have to say about it. Go ahead, Matt.
So, Fantasy Pros, Matt from Fantasy Analyzers. So, let's start with quarterbacks. Drew Brees. This is in reverse order. Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, Josh Allen, Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, or Prescott, wherever you're from, Lamar Jackson, and the man himself, Patrick Mahomes. What are your thoughts, David? Who sticks out to you? Who we targeted in this draft season?
You know what? The person that I'm really targeting is, and it's gonna be obvious, really, man. Like, it's gonna be, if you have the chance, we talked about this a little bit in the last podcast. If you get if you're in a super flex league and you see that Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes are there in the second to third round, you have to draft those players. In super flex, those are the top scoring players. But I'm going to go ahead and dive a little deeper. And I'm going to say the intriguing names on those lists are Russell Wilson and Josh Allen. Those two players right there are going to be a little bit further down on the draft list as far as ADP. You're going to be able to pick up a Russell Wilson probably in the fifth or sixth round. And you're also going to be able to pick up a Josh Allen in probably the eighth to 10th round. And you know what? You can't just find players like that have overall quarterback one potential. And the reason why I say that is
Yeah.
because Russell Wilson is a former MVP. He's just got a couple new weapons. He's got DK Metcalf in his second year. He's going to explode everybody. He's got Tyler Lockett, who's as steady as they come. And they just added Josh Gordon back to the team. So what I got to say about
News.
what I got to say about Josh Allen is that boy has the ball in his hands the whole time. Whether it's running or it's throwing, he's going to give you
Those
at
rushing
least,
touchdowns.
I guarantee you guys, he's going to give you at least two touchdowns a game, and he's going to give you at least maybe say 250 overall yards. That could be throwing or rushing.
Okay.
And that's going to be, and the rushing part is going to be very important with Josh Allen. So if
hmm
you can scoop him up in the ninth, 10th round, wow, you have some really good potential. What about you, Matt?
Yeah. So with Lamb coming into Dallas, as well as Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, I'm really going for that Dak Prescott. I have him in my number two spot, where Lamar Jackson's supposed to belong. So I think that this is the year we see him jump from almost elite to elite. Dak Prescott, you're going to get him at a bargain in the draft. One of these guys in the lower end, Drew Brees and Matt Ryan. Those two guys are veterans. You're going to find them in the ninth, 10th round. And I'm totally comfortable at that point with my running back and wide receiver depth to go ahead and get one of those guys. So now we're going to move over to the wide receivers. So Fantasy Pros, consensus wide receivers. Give me just a moment. I'll pull those up. So going from 10 to 1, Adam Thielen, A.J. Brown, Mike Evans, DeAndre Hopkins, Kenny Galladay, Chris Godwin, Julio Jones, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, and Michael Thomas. Who you got?
Well, first and foremost, man, I love to see the AJ Browns on a list, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that DeAndre Hopkins is frighteningly low. That guy does is produce. He's gonna get 150 targets. He's got a better quarterback than he's ever had, and he's just in a situation where he's just gonna keep producing in an air raid offense. And wow, man, DeAndre Hopkins, man, that's a bargain at what, wide receiver 7, 8. So the other
Yeah.
person that I'm looking at really tough, The other person that I'm really looking at tough in that top 10 is, I don't think we've seen the best of Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill has the number one overall potential. I do like my guy, Mike Thomas. I like Devontae Adams, of course, but I think Tyreek Hill paired with Patrick Mahomes can do the type of damage that, we uh, Randy Moss possibly did back in the day.
Mm.
So I really like Tyreek Hill as a bargain. He got hurt last year, and I think he's just due to explode.
Yeah, I think off the top, I'm going to go with Adam Thielen. I think Fantasy Pros, that consensus have him a little low. I think when Stephon Diggs left, Kirk Cousins is going to rely on Thielen. He's the old wide receiver, and I mean old, like 29, I believe he is, maybe 30. He's going to get it to Adam
He's
Thielen
30.
over and over. He's going to have the yardage easy and those end zone catches and those long freaking passes that Kirk Cousins likes to do a few times here and there, the little dimes that he got. So I'm definitely with Adam Thielen as far as getting him
Okay.
at a value. He's out of that top 10, and I'm kind of shooting a little out of that top 10 on their consensus. He's 11.5 PPR. I want him. And after I get all my running backs, he's the guy that I want in that fourth, fifth round.
Well, man, if
Uh,
we were going outside of the top 10, I would definitely say,
he's in my top 10.
shout out to my guy Cortland Sutton, and shout out to my guy, DJ Moore, because those guys are coming for the top 10
Mm.
pretty quick.
Well,
So
DJ Moore is top 10 in half PPR. So I actually
okay,
read
good,
standard.
good.
All right, let's move
Okay,
over to
good.
tight ends. All right, so tight ends, of course, we know who number one is, maybe. Top 10, going from 10 to 1. Jared Cook, Hayden Hurst, Tyler Higbee, Hunter Henry, Evan Ingram, Darren Waller, Zach Ertz, Mark Andrews, George Kittle, Travis Kelce. Who you got?
Well, you can't say tight end without saying George Kittle, and he's going to be a beast. They have no wide receivers over there. Jimmy Garoppolo has to throw it to him. They just got a new contract, and I'm going to go ahead and mirror that response to Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce has been the number one tight end overall for the last 4 years. He took over from Gronk, and he hasn't looked back. So you can't go wrong with those two picks. But the guy that I'm looking at in the back end is Hayden Hurst. I'm also looking
Mm.
at Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry's in a contract year. He's looking to get paid by, the LA Chargers, and kind of almost like a situation where they're missing a Mike Williams or they're missing some wide receivers. Yeah, Keenan
Mm.
Allen's going to get double teamed, and they're going to have to throw it to Hunter Henry. But Hayden Hurst, the guy that I really wanted to talk about, was, again, Austin Hooper's gone. Mohamed Sanu's gone. They have Calvin Ridley and they have Julio Jones. Once those two guys get double teamed or there's
Mm.
safeties over the top, Hayden Hurst is going to be wide open with those sure hands. He catches everything. He's like sticky glue. But who do
Mm.
you got, man? Who do you got, Matt? Because I'm
Tyler
really looking
Tyler
forward to
Higbee.
hear what you say.
Tyler Higbee. He is super
Ah,
efficient. Jared Goff loves to rely on this big target. He kind of came out last year, kind of exploded towards the end of the season. I
the
think he's
last
going to
five
carry
games,
this,
dude.
bro. So he's going to carry this in. Gerald Everett is also there. It's kind of why people are a little worried, I think, about Higbee. Higbee has
12
been signed to an
personnel.
extension. Yeah, so I'm looking for him as far as value. If I don't end up with Kittle, who's my number one, Kelsey is my number two, or Ertz, Andrews in that range, if I am stocking up on my running backs or my wide receivers at that point,
Ooh,
I'm
Andrews. You
seriously
can't forget
going
him.
with Higbee, and even further back, Jared Cook. I like him as well. I think he has a good
What? That's
upside.
where we're going to disagree
Jared,
with Jared Cook. We're going to
yeah,
disagree.
yeah.
That's our
I know you
first
like that rookie
disagreement of the
boy
night.
coming in. I know you like that rookie coming in. So we'll see.
No,
But
it's not
that's
so much
where I
about
stand
that.
as far as tight ends.
No, I like that. I really do like that. Those, especially that I like that you shouted out my guy Hayden Hurst, and Higby. Again, the last 5 games, he did something that no other tight end has ever done in the league. So I really respect that, man. I kind of overlooked that one in Fantasy Pro, so I'm glad you brought that up, Matt. Really, you did a really good job on that, bro. Our listeners need to really listen to that Tyler Higbee play because I feel like he gets lost in the translation. So where are we at? Running
Oh,
backs? Or
for
we doing?
sure. I think a lot
Are
of
we at
people
running backs?
drop him back like nothing. Yeah, of course. So our final finale his running backs. I think we could spend a little bit more time on them. I
Sure.
just love discussing running backs. I think their value as far as early on in the draft is key to building a solid roster. So let's get this going.
Sure.
Running backs. I'm gonna get back over to my fantasy pros off the top of
You
my
could even
head.
go you could even go slow mo with the 10 to 9 because I gotta let this savor, man. I gotta let that taste just flow, man. It's like having some
Yeah, for
wagyu,
sure.
man. You gotta just eat that.
Is it Wagyu or Wagyu?
You know what? That
Is it
reminds me,
Wagyu?
dude. That reminds me of is it tomato or tomato, bro? Because I'm not really sure about this time.
Potato, potato. Who knows?
Who knows?
All right, so let's start with this number one guy, Miles Sanders. Not number one. He's
Ooh.
ranked 10.
Number
So our
10.
first on the
Fantasy
list.
pros.
Okay, I got a woo. We sticking with that with Miles Sanders on
I,
the
I
fantasy pros.
I like Miles Sanders, but keep going.
Josh Jacobs here in
If Miles
Las
Sanders,
Vegas.
man, if Miles Sanders stays healthy, I really really like him. Josh Jacobs, I'm a Raider fan, so I'm not even gonna lie that I'm a fan. Actually think he should be higher, but keep going.
Mm,
We'll talk about it.
yeah, for sure. Joe Mixon, new contract boy.
Ooh,
Joe
big money,
Mixon,
big money, Joe. Shout out to him. I'm
48
glad you got
mil.
paid because RBs matter.
Lives matter. Black lives matter too. Clyde Edwards-Helaire,
Of course. CEH, man,
the
the
big risky play in the
the
first
most
round.
polarizing player of the 2020 season is CEH. So we got a lot to
Hmm.
talk about when it comes to him.
Yeah, I seen him drop into the 20, like 19, 20, even in
Yeah,
the 20s,
I
which is
see him
crazy.
going in the I
I've
see him going in the
I've
first
seen him in
round.
the top 3. Yeah, I've seen him in the top 3, which is pretty crazy as well.
And in
Derrick Henry.
Dynasty, shout out.
Sorry,
Well,
go ahead.
I love Derrick Henry, but I'll say this on CEH. In Dynasty and Keeper and Devi, CEH is going number 1 overall. So all my Dynasty guys out there,
Yeah.
everyone's like yelling either Jordan Taylor or CEH. So and a lot of the CEH truthers are out, hard right now, especially he went to Kansas City. But go ahead, Derrick Henry, man,
For sure, Derrick Henry.
Derrick,
Big boy,
Derrick,
Derrick Henry.
Derrick,
You gotta talk
god
like this if you're
damn,
gonna
that
talk
boy's
about
so
the
goddamn
you
big.
gotta talk from the gut, you know what I mean? Like that's
Man,
Derrick Henry.
that boy is country strong. Have you seen him lift weights, boy? You just know he's gonna score 15 touchdowns, guaranteed.
He's the Hulk. So we got Dalvin Cook up next.
Dalvin Cook, man, will he get that money that he wants? Will he stay healthy?
Mixon
I
just
know
did,
that
so he's stimulating the market.
that is true, but I feel like the Minnesota Vikings have a lot of they've shown that with letting Stephon Diggs go via trade, they've let guys like Griffin go. They did
Hmm.
keep Danielle Hunter, and they have like a lot of defensive players that they pay. But in terms of actually paying their offense, outside of Thielen and Kirk Cousins, they've been kind of stingy with the money, if you know what I mean. And Stephon
Yeah.
Diggs knows what I mean when he said, "Show me the money," and they didn't pay him. You know what I mean? So.
Minnesota, bro. I don't know about them. I really don't.
Alexander Mattison
But
has something to say
Adam
about that
Thielen,
too.
Adam Thielen, and Kirk Cousins.
I
That's all I
like
have to say.
Thielen.
And
I like
Alexander
Thielen.
Mattison. So next up, Alvin. I almost said Calvin. Alvin Kamara, number 4. He's just outside of that tier 1.
Alvin and Theodore. There's a reason why he's number 4 because he has number 1 overall potential at any given year. We've seen what he can
Hmm.
do on the field. He's as shifty as they come. He can stop on a dime. He can score from 30 yards out or 3 yards out. He gets a lot of goal line carries. He's a smaller
Yep.
back, so he gets all our. He's a PPR monster. And
Yeah.
honestly, I'm kind of upset because my pick for the Camara of 2020 is Eckler, and Eckler is not on this goddamn list, Fantasy Pros. So what the hell is up with that? Where's my guy? Where's Eckler? Come on, baby. Where's Eckler? Beat the goddamn Eckler drum.
13th. He's just
Come
out of the
on.
first round. 13th, if you're
Okay.
going all running
Okay.
backs.
Sure.
All right,
Sure.
Ezekiel
I'm waiting.
Elliott. I'll talk about little Alvin
Z
Kamara now. I don't know why I'm stumbling over him.
Marinara or Alvin Marinara,
Alvin
you some
Marinara.
spaghetti?
Ooh, I'm hungry. Let's eat.
Ooh.
Anyways, with Drew Brees coming back, he dumps it off. He's a very smart quarterback. He's
Mhm.
42 now, I believe. So he's going to look for Alvin Kamara in the open space, in the flats. That's something that Alvin Kamara, that's his bread and butter as far as getting us those points. So I love his upside, especially with Drew Brees being healthy and ready to go for the entire season. Let's go to Ezekiel Elliott. What are your thoughts?
What's your what's your projection on how many catches Alvin Kamara gets this year? Don't think too hard. Thinking long, thinking
Say
wrong, baby. What is the
80.
first thing come to your head? Oh, that's
80.
good. I want to say that he got between 80 and 85 last year, so that's right on brand.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right
he'll
on
stick in
brand.
that. He's very
Okay.
consistent. So
Okay.
Ezekiel Elliott, they have him at 3. I personally have
Zeke.
him at 2.
Zeke. Zeke.
Yeah, he's gonna eat. I mean, there's no
Oh,
way that you're
we're
not
talking
gonna.
half point PPR. I don't, I'm not gonna fight you on because I've actually ranked Zeke at the number 2 spot as well. And when I submitted those rankings to you, you know that. So that was I think 2 months ago. Anyways, I
Yeah,
love
for
Zeke.
sure.
I really love Zeke, and the reason why I even love Zeke more than I loved him last year is the fact that they can't put 8 in the box anymore for the reasons you
Mm,
stated about Dak Prescott, for the reasons they got Gallup, Amari, CeeDee Lamb. They have a young tight end in Blake Jarwin. They're going to be able to pass the ball, but when it's time to just pound that rock and they're going to control the clock, and in that weak division they have over in the NFC East,
mm,
I expect them to get 10, 11 wins, and I expect them the game clock is going to be in their favor, and they're just
yeah,
going to pound that rock, and then Zeke's going to score from 20 yards out. So, yeah,
yeah.
I'm not
Prescott's
mad at
gonna
you.
definitely get the ball in the end zone. He's gonna score some touchdowns. Guess what that means? Second half carries for Zeke.
How many
So
touchdowns for
Zeke's get.
Zeke?
Let's go 14. I think he's gonna have a couple games where he has 2 or 3. So I'm thinking 14, upwards of like 17, 18. But he has the ability to kind of blow that out of the water. So I hope for that if I'm going to draft him in that 2 spot. What about
Nice.
you?
And he's full. I think the great thing about him is that he's coming into a season where he's not worried about the contract. He's not worried about his any off-field stuff. He's
Focused.
completely focused on the game. So I
Hmm.
really think that he's going to have a 12 to 1,500 yard rushing season. I think he'll add another 250 passing, receiving.
Mm.
So I think that, on a high note, he can go for 1750 overall in terms of yardage. And I think that he can get anywhere between 12 and 16 TDs. So that's where I'm at with Zeke.
Yeah. We're about the same. I'd put him a little higher. I have it at 15, but I think he can get upwards of 20. He's going to have a few games where he gets 2 or 3. So
LaDainian Tomlin
let's.
style, the LaDainian Tomlinson
Yeah.
style. I like it. I like
I
it.
really think with Prescott and kind of his weapons, he's going to be able to move the ball, which allows Zeke to kind of play the game he wants to play. I mean, he's going to have space as far as those receiving weapons in that core. So
Mhm.
we're going to see some open space Zeke, and we're going to see him jumping over dudes. We're going to see some exciting stuff from him this season. Let's talk about Mr. Quads, Mr.
Ah,
Saquon Barkley.
the guy that I'm
We
gonna
got him. What do you think?
the guy that I'm gonna draft tomorrow in a PPR league on the Twitter Hobby League. And Matt, you're in that league, and man, I just want to let you
Yeah,
know that I
I'm at
have this,
seventh
I have
spot.
it,
So,
I have this masterpiece in my head that I'm gonna have Saquon, and he's
yeah,
gonna
I
be
know, right?
the cornerstone of my
And
offense. So,
and you're gonna have
man,
Alvin Kamara as your second, right? It's a
man,
batting league, so that changes things.
if only the world worked out so beautifully like that, a beautiful bliss.
I've
So
heard it
nah,
happen. I don't know,
I,
8-man leagues. I don't know.
this is a bounce back year for my guy Saquon, man. And I think with the second year under
Danny
their belt
Dimes.
for Denny, he's going to be able to command that offense a little bit better. He's going to be able
Yeah.
to, change the plays a little bit better than he did last year. I think he put Saquon in some
Mm,
bad situations.
okay.
They knew it was coming. They had 8 to 10 man boxes, and I
I can
think
see
that
that.
a healthy Saquon is going to be able to overcome just like he did in his rookie year expectations. And at any given season, he has number 1 overall potential. So
Yeah,
you can't beat that.
Unfortunately, I think this wide receiver core, I don't know if it has kind of the tools to be able to open up space for him. He doesn't need
Mhm.
space to get those yardage and get those end zone carries and things like that. We'll see what Darius Slayton does, Golden Tate, Sterling Shepard, what those guys do as far as opening up space for him.
They're
Last
better than the
year, I'm
Eagles.
afraid of him because of that, and of course the health of that offensive line is kind of on my mind as well as yeah. Anyways, Christian McCaffrey, the man himself, the
Ooh.
best maybe of all time.
I think that he has a situation where he is the cornerstone and he's, you don't have to explain it. You know that when you're going to the Carolina Panthers, you're going to the Carolinas, you know that the man that's on all the billboards, the man, the myth, the legend, it's, Christian McCaffrey coming from Stanford. He's a stand up guy. He's going to be prepared for any defense. He's going to be able to either adjust whether you want him to catch the ball, run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can put him back at quarterback and he'll score for you. He's just one of those guys that he's going to be a top 15 to top 12 receiver and a top 10 running back. And once you put that together, he's like Superman. So I don't know what
Yeah.
else you want from a Robert Patton than to be a Batman, but Christian McCaffrey is the next best thing. So the way I
Yeah,
see
for
it,
sure. I mean,
Christian McCaffrey is unquestioned in half point PPR, and I love to see it. I just want to see him. I just can't
yeah,
wait to watch him. He one week from now, man, we're gonna be watching him.
yeah. I think there's only one thing I have to say
Sure.
about Christian McCaffrey, CMC. He's number one. I mean, he's Patrick Mahomes. He's Aaron Rodgers in 2011. He's number one.
Man,
Essentially, I want to bring up one other guy, kind of to end us with, Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones has his guy, rookie guy coming in, and everyone's like, "Ooh, look at those
AJ Dillon.
quads." But Aaron Jones is a guy like Kamara. He's a guy like CMC that has that upside that I like in that back end of the second, early third round right now.
Oh, he's
I
not
think
making
he
it to the
can.
third round. No way. No way. Second
No,
round.
he
End of
he
the
is he
second.
is in
End
some.
of the
I mean,
second.
in 12-man leagues, it's end of second. So um, I'm looking out for him at that point, and hopefully I can grab him in some of these leagues. I'm actually keeping him in my home league in the third, so I'm happy about that. But I thank you, David, for being on with us, and
One
of course the partnership we got here at Run Pass Option. Go ahead and take us out of here.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to say, to everyone listening, of course, we love that you guys are enjoying the podcast. If you guys have any thoughts or ideas of, whether it's the theories about drafting or
Mm-hmm.
players end of season where they'll end up, or if you want to even talk about coming on the show, feel free to let us know that, hey, I have these questions, concerns, and I wish you guys would talk about these situations. I love sit. I'm the type of guy, Matt's the type of guy that we can adjust on the fly, and we're willing to just chat with you guys. So always feel free to reach out. We're not stuck up. We love to engage, and we're just looking to have some more fun. Hey, look, we got a little. Is that your dog there, man? Because
Yeah, it's
that's
my
pretty cool.
pups.
Ah, look at that
Say
cutie.
hi,
Can
Leia.
you,
Say hi, Leia.
Leia? What's up?
Sit.
What's up, Leia? What's up, Leia?
Sit.
So,
Shake. Good girl.
and one person that I just want to say, fantasy pros, that who's going to be on that top 10 list in PPR, but probably not half point PPR, is Cooper Cup. So keep an eye on him. I know that
Mm.
people are talking about Bob Woods, and I know you love me when I say Bob
Right.
Woods, but Cooper Cup is going to
Yeah,
be on
Bob.
there someday.
Hey,
And
Bobby
so is
Woods.
and Cortland Sutton and my guy Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd. They're all on their way to the
Mm.
top 10 in a couple years. So all right, guys. We'll This is peace out from Matt and David. We'll talk to you guys soon.